Profs back in SB Gym for the first time in the new year. Rowan coming in at 11-1, undefeated at home, look to get their 9th straight win of the season. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Mark Etchitelli. And Mark, this William Paterson team, they are 6-6 on the season, but they definitely have a dominant conference record at 4-1. So what does this Profs team need to do if they want to keep that winning streak?
Well, you know, the mentality of Profs head coach Demetrius Pohl is always take it one game at a time, and this team's been doing just that, 11-1 on the year. And you look at that record, they're on quite a roll, 8-game win streak. But the thing is, when you go into an NJAC conference game, especially against a storied women's basketball program in the William Paterson Pioneers, despite what their record says at 6-6, you can't take them lightly. They need to treat it just like the game's going to start 0-0, which it will, and like it's the beginning of the season and they're ready to get started. Yeah, definitely. And the Profs, as you said, 11-1. First season head coach Demetrius Pohl's interim head coach for right now, but he's had a great start so far this season. Yeah, Demetrius Pohl's had quite a big year. He had his jersey retired at Delsea High School, which is exactly where he went to high school at, and obviously he was on that storied men's basketball team that won the national championship in the late 1990s, and Coach Pohl's has done such a great job in his first season. And right near, we have the Pioneers starting lineup: Dana DeFrank, Madison Dulude, Elisa Giordano, Yakura Rosa, and Allison McBride. And Dulude leading the Pioneers in points per game so far this year. So if you're the Profs, you're definitely looking to guard her, and she's only a freshman. Yeah, Madison Dulude, certainly the most potent scorer on the William Paterson team, comes in on the year averaging 12.4 points per game, 149 points total on the year, and from the field shooting a very solid 37%. And sorry, my bad, she's actually a sophomore, so in her second season with the Pioneers. Definitely a lot to look out for on this team, and as we see for the Profs, Ayanna Johnson, Nicole Mallard, Kennedy Brown, Grace Marshall, and Eliana Santana. For the Profs, they have 2 freshmen in their starting lineup, but that doesn't really stop them at all. As we know, Nicole Mallard getting Rookie of the Week for this week for the Division III basketball. I think the most notable thing about this Profs team, Kayla, not a single senior on the roster. All these girls most likely going to be here at least another year, as there's a few juniors, but a lot of freshmen and sophomores. And as you saw in the starting lineup, head coach Demetrius Pohl's not afraid to put the youngsters out there, and what a job they've done. I mean, we talk about the 11-1 record, one of the best starts in program history, and they just want to keep momentum going here at home, their first time back in SB in a while. Yeah, they definitely do, and I mean, Eliana Santana, Nicole Mallard, the freshmen in the starting lineup, you don't think they're freshmen when they're out there, and we're going to take a step off right now for the national anthem.
Paige Caldwell, guard, Woodstown, New Jersey.
I'm McKenna Dowd. I'm a guard, and I'm from Williamstown, New Jersey.
Alexis Criley, guard, Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Juliet Tobin, guard, Deptford, New Jersey.
Kennedy Brown, point guard, Newark, Delaware.
Jazzy Duverglass, forward, Hamilton, New Jersey.
Ayanna Johnson, forward, Ewing, New Jersey.
Grace Marshall, guard, Haddon Township, New Jersey.
Carly Burns, guard, Lavalette, New Jersey.
Danny Campbell, guard, Feller, Mountain, New Jersey.
My name is Savannah Holt. I'm a guard, and I'm from Ocean City.
Nicole Mallard, guard, Washington, New Jersey.
I'm Eliana Santana. I'm a forward, and I'm from Pensacola, New Jersey.
And we are back here in SB Gymnasium. As we said before, the first game at home of the new year. The Profs did come out and win their last game of the decade, as we kind of titled it, against Cabrini, 87-85 in overtime. A huge win for them. The Pioneers also coming off a win. So both teams have a lot of momentum coming into this game. It's going to be interesting. For the Profs, they have struggled with turnovers lately, so they're definitely going to need to narrow that down a little bit if they want to strike early.
Well, that's
the key to really any team. You got to take care of the basketball. When you're committing silly turnovers, that's when you start to fall into trouble. And we look at the 11-1 record, that one loss, an overtime loss at Widener. Profs were in that game as they took it to overtime, and then consistent turnovers in that overtime period led to the Profs' only loss of the season so far. And now that you're right, it's a new decade, new year, 2020. Profs going to be looking to take care of the basketball like they've been on their 8-game win streak since then.
Definitely, and the Profs usually coming fast out of the gate. We'll see what they do here as they get ready for the jump ball. Allison McBride and Ayanna Johnson. And the ball is going to be taken by the Profs. Kennedy Brown at the point guard. Gives it to Mallard. Mallard looking inside to Ayanna Johnson. Passes it back out to Santana. Santana drives in a nice pass to Nicole Mallard, and she lays it in. Too easy if you're the Pioneers.
Gotta love the backdoor cut from Nicole Mallard. She's been a solid freshman guard all year. She delivers with the first points of the game for Rowan.
And the Pioneers breaking it up and take it away by Johnson. Gives it to Mallard, but she's going to slow things down. Marshall, 4-3, connects. And Grace Marshall struggled a little bit against Cabrini. Was able to really facilitate the court well, but unable to get the shot she wanted. It's nice to see her start off with that 3 here.
Grace Marshall, such an integral part of this Profs team, and only a sophomore. We saw her get a lot of playing time last year in her freshman season, but she's just trying to continue the momentum she set forth in her first year as a Prof.
DeFrank giving it to McBride. McBride trying to take Johnson, and she has her way. And the Pioneers setting up a press. Brown to Grace Marshall for another 3. Too strong. Rebound Johnson. Pass to Grace Marshall. What a beauty.
The court awareness from Grace Marshall as the rebound was brought down by Johnson. Marshall realized she missed the 3. What's the best thing I can do to help? Get myself in position to score. She drove in towards the lane.
Rosa has it. Gives it out to DeFrank. DeFrank to Delude. Delude got the ball back, gives it to McBride, and McBride loses it, but it's going to end up being Pioneers' ball. And the Pioneers not really, very early in the game, but not really finding anything so far with how this defense is set up right now for the Profs. DeFrank drives it on Santana. No good. Rebound to Johnson. Marshall running up the floor, gives it to Brown. Brown loses it, gets it back to Mallard, reverse, no good. She gets her own rebound and taken away by the Pioneers. Pioneers trying to get something going. That's DeFrank. They're going to call an offensive foul. Good positioning by Santana on that play.
Very good defense by Santana, and Rosa was driving in for the Pioneers. Looked like from up here she got away with a little bit of a walk driving in as well. Looked to be more than the 2 steps you're allowed.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one, Mark. Marshall. Santana for 3. No good. Delude gets the rebound, but the Profs fighting for it. It's going to end up Pioneers' ball. And I thought right there that bounce might have gone in for Santana. It doesn't, so the Pioneers get it on the jump ball. Into DeFrank. Giordano drives in, blocked by Johnson. And she is picking up right where she left off. Last game, she had a double-double. She's been great on the offensive and defensive glass, and she's just a presence to be reckoned with in the paint. DeFrank from 3. Too strong, no good. Rebound Johnson. Kennedy Brown takes it away. Brown driving in, and she is fouled by McBride. And that's her thing, Mark, going into the hole, trying to absorb that contact from the defense.
Kennedy Brown, you're right, one of her favorite things, trying to just take it to the rack and see what she can make out of it. Ends up getting fouled. They won't give her the shooting foul.
Marshall from the corner. No good. Rebound to Johnson. A nice pass to Marshall. She gets double-teamed, and Santana has it. Johnson with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Marshall fakes, drives in. No good. Rebound Pioneers. Pioneers looked for the trailing Delude. She gets it, but pass a little bit too far to go up with it. Delude, nice step over Santana. The shot doesn't go, but she'll get her opportunity at the strike.
Well, Delude didn't get the basket to go, but how about the footwork to be able to open herself up and get the underhanded layup towards the rim. And let's see if she can convert at the line.
First one up. And good. And she is a 72.2 free throw percentage on the season. So pretty good for the Pioneers. Second one is up. No good. Rebound Johnson. In the last game against Cabrini, the Profs had a tough time getting those open free throws. Kennedy Brown drives in and she is fouled. And Kennedy Brown kind of being that part of that guilty party, really unable to kind of capitalize on those free points there. So they definitely have to hit those today.
It's the one thing that you can say about this Profs team is they need to convert from the line at a higher rate. Because you look at the record, 11-1, obviously having a fantastic campaign as a team. When you get into the dog days, though, later on in the season, right before you hit the NJACs, and when you even get into the NJAC tournament, if you're trying to make your way towards the NCAA tournament, you got to knock down the free points that teams give you, because the further you get in the season, everybody's trying to win, trying to make playoffs, and you play even better teams.
Right, and that's to be the worst thing for a coach if that's how you lose the game, by not making your free throws. The Profs playing a little bit of a trap defense here. Delude has it up top. Trying to drive in on Marshall, but cuts her off. Elting, 4-3, way off. Airball, no good. Saved by the Pioneers. Delude goes back up with it. And a travel on Ayanna Johnson, trying to avoid that double team, and she turns it right back over.
It's unfortunate. Ayanna Johnson continues to pull down the boards, however, on the game. Already 6 rebounds for Ayanna Johnson. And that just shows why she's always so close to getting a double-double, or at least just getting one every single time she steps out on the court.
And for the Pioneers, Jakayla Elting in the game, has the ball, passes it to Delude. Delude, 4-3, good. Something you needed if you're the Pioneers. Now they play press defense. Profs do break it. Marshall into Johnson. Johnson dribbles, loses it, but out on the Pioneers. Looks like it was deflected by DeFrank.
You're Rowan. You don't want to let the Pioneers get some momentum and get back into this game. Now, granted, it's only the first quarter. It's been a close game throughout. Profs haven't led by more than 6 points yet so far in tonight's contest, but want to make sure you take care of the ball, do exactly what they did to start off the game.
And Alexis Criley coming in for Eliana Santana, reversed by Ayanna Johnson, no good. Rebound to the Pioneers, trying to get that pass to Delude. She ends up getting it, passes it out to Elting. No good. Rebound Johnson sees Alexis Criley. Criley going coast to coast. No good. Rebound Brown. She puts it back up. No good. And I'm a little bit surprised, no foul call, but for both sides right now, just a little bit sloppy, trying to really drive into the lane rather than setting up their offense.
Well, in that particular case, a transition from Criley, you could see she was trying to get the Euro step around her defender, but nobody was binding underneath the rim.
And Savannah Hull in the game for the Profs. Johnson, jump shot, no good. Rebound Pioneers, along with Paige Caldwell, who picks up her first foul. Substitutes for the Profs. Something else for the Profs after that Cabrini game, they weren't very efficient from 3. Savannah Hull also struggling in that position, so I'm sure Coach Poles wants to get them going early today.
Yeah, as a team on the year, the Profs shooting about 30% from beyond the arc, which not the greatest mark that they could have, but they've done a phenomenal job.
And a huge block by Johnson. And Criley is fouled on the other end, and Johnson just doing it all right now.
Ayanna Johnson brings down the boards, gets the points in, and also is a member of the SWAT team underneath the basket.
And Johnson 5'11", McBride, 6 foot, so has a little bit of height on Johnson in this game. But Johnson says, I don't care. I'm going to do my thing anyways.
That's something we rarely see when the Profs go up against anybody. Ayanna Johnson usually towers over her opponents. So for William Paterson to have a matchup against Ayanna Johnson, that's probably one of their biggest strengths here tonight.
And really the only other matchup that we saw somebody the same size as Johnson was that Widener game, which they did lose in overtime. Johnson thought she got fouled, turns it over. Dulude running against Savannah Holt. Passes out to Frank Elting for 3. Too short. Rebound Kennedy Brown, and Johnson getting beat up a little bit down there. Coach Pohl's not too happy about it. Brown. Caldwell driving in. No good. Rebound. Johnson puts it back up. No good, and out on the Pioneers. And William Paterson making a substitute. Bianca Soriano coming in, and Eliana Santana coming in for Ayanna Johnson on the Prof side.
Not a bad backup plan underneath the basket if you're going to bring in Eliana Santana.
Santana for 3, no good. 0 from 2 from beyond the arc today. Rosa. Soriano. Pioneers trying to get it inside to Soriano, but taken away by Santana. Santana's going to take it all the way herself, and she loses the handle.
It was tipped out. They're going to give the Profs possession. Following behind Santana was Dulude, so a good defensive play from the Pioneers' top scorer on the season.
Savannah Holt fakes it from 3, tries to pass it to Criley, taken away. Dulude gets the pass up on Grace Marshall, and a foul. And Dulude kind of, as you said, she had the defensive play down there, getting another chance at the free throw line for her team.
It was a good play by Dulude to pick up the loose ball, but streaking down the court, Grace Marshall, nothing really she could do but stand there. And most of the time, especially with Dulude going to the basket the way she did, any type of contact, they're going to call a foul in transition.
Right, and if you're Grace Marshall, you don't want to pick up those early fouls. And as we see here, Dulude so far tonight, full court press for the Pioneers. Ball to Savannah Holt. Caldwell driving in the lane, no good. Rebound Criley. And the Pioneers bench wants a walk. The refs are going to call a foul. Criley triple teamed on that play, trying to get the ball back if you're William Paterson, but the refs saw otherwise.
I love the fight from Alexis Criley. We've referred to her multiple times this season. Hasn't started much this year, but when she comes off the bench, she is such a spark plug for this Profs offense. Only stands at 5'7", but she's a junior. She's one of the older members on the team, and they look to her as a leader coming off the bench.
And Criley misses the first free throw. She's also a captain for this team, so Pohl's definitely seeing something on her. And it's kind of like, you know, when you're a team, maybe you're relieved at the starting lineup, but for the Profs, when that bench comes in, there's really no drop-off, and I think that's what makes them such a dominant team. Giordano back in the game for the Pioneers. Full court press by the Profs. Elting almost loses it, gets it back. Soriano trying to take Eliana Santana. No good. Rebound is going to go. No rebound. The ball's going to go to the Profs. There's a loose ball right there.
Some nice footwork from Soriano underneath, able to get the fadeaway jumper to get up, but couldn't knock it down.
Savannah Holt from 3. Good. Something she needed after that Cabrini game to get going. And watch out, Mark, because once she gets going, it's hard to stop her.
And you could see how much it meant to her to finally get off to a good start. She knocked down that 3, patted the chest, and gave out a nice scream
Duluth drives in, misses, rebound Soriano. Duluth gets it back, and she is fouled. Really taking all the contact today from the Profs.
And right there, Holt from the RU. Doesn't get much deeper than that. Able to knock it down, get started early.
Johnson coming back in the game for Holt. So, you know, Savannah Holt getting her first three. Why take her out of the game? But for the Profs, maybe it's a rebounding issue right now as we see Duluth going to the line once again. And she misses the first one. Second one good. Marshall to Caldwell. Friley, jump shot, she gets fouled. And she once again is going to go to the line for the Profs.
That's just a smart play from Criley. Saw that Soriano was leaning forward trying to get a piece of the ball, so what does she do? Adjust the angle, make sure that Soriano gets a piece of her elbow as she throws the shot up.
Criley, very not only energetic player, but a very smart player, as we saw right there, adding a lot for this Rowan team. And 2 from 2 from the line. The Profs lead now 15-9. Criley gets the steal. Elton gets it right back. Duluth driving in, Soriano. Giordano 4-3, too short, rebound, Pioneers. And Criley running for the ball, and she's gonna cause a backcourt violation, so she's just all over the place defensively.
Criley can get it on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and she's just showing why the team looks to her as a leader. She gets it done on both sides of the ball. That's one of the most important things you want to look at. Look at some of the best players in the NBA.
And Caldwell hits from downtown.
Sometimes they're just recognized for what they do on offense. Don't play much defense, but when you're a two-way player, I mean, look at a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Get it done on both sides of the ball. They call him the claw for a reason. You want to be a two-way player for sure.
And it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep things here.
And you see right here, Marshall gave it right back to Caldwell, who knocked down the three. Those two just playing a game of hot potato beyond the arc.
Definitely something good to see if you're Coach Poles. Kind of going back to Criley, I mean, I agree with you. She's kind of like a scrappy player in the way where she's just all over the place all the time. She's so aggressive. I feel that she always gives 110% when she's out there on the court. And you see that, and other teams kind of fear that in a way. You always think, oh, Alexis Criley's going to be behind my back trying to get that steal. So exactly kind of what she did right there, causing a turnover for the Pioneers.
Well, Alexis Criley, so great to have if you're the Profs. If you're William Paterson and any other team that plays them, with the amount of energy she brings to the game, she's like a pest for the other team. She's just all over the place on both sides of the ball, and I'm sure it can be pretty frustrating when she gets going.
Yeah, definitely, and little delay here as they're just, I guess, trying to clean up some sweat so nobody slips.
Referee giving a little check, make sure it's good.
And for the Profs, once again, they're undefeated at home, so definitely a big game here in front of this home crowd. Hopefully they're not like the Sixers and lose that streak at home, but they don't play as many games as the NBA do, so good for them. Caldwell getting the inbound. Criley to Santana. Santana drives in the lane, layup no good. Soriano gets the rebound. And the Pioneers just trying to set it up here, trying to set up a play. Justina Cabezas in the game, and she hits for the jumper. And just under a minute remaining here. Caldwell to Johnson. Not a good pass, tipped by the Pioneers. If you're Caldwell, maybe a bounce pass to Johnson in that scenario. Elting driving in the lane, gives it to Cabezas. Good! Off the glass. Maybe she's the spark plug for the Pioneers because she's coming in firing right now.
Contested shot off the glass. That's what you want if you're William Paterson trying to cut this deficit.
And the Profs right now just trying to force a little bit too much.
Right here you see Soriano, and then driving it was Etling underneath. And put in by Cabezas.
Profs lucky, no turnover there, but Santana just trying to force it. Excuse me, Johnson trying to force it to Santana under the rim. Brown gets it in the corner. Holt from 3. That had a nice arc on it, but no good. Rebound. Cabezas and to Duluth. There's nobody there. Kennedy Brown picks her up and she walks. She must have heard the footsteps of Kennedy Brown because for a second there was nobody there in transition.
Well, Soriano looked like she walked when she tried to make the pass to Duluth, streaking down the court. Then Duluth makes up for it by getting called for one on the other side.
Holt 3, too strong, and that is the end of the first quarter here in SB Gymnasium. The Profs up 18-13, and make sure you stay tuned for more Profs women's basketball right after this. And we are back here for second quarter action as the Profs hold the lead 18-13. And Mark, they're not turning the ball over as much, just maybe forcing a little bit too much, not really setting up, especially towards the end of that first quarter.
Well, the Profs doing pretty good in the offensive rebound department as they lead the Pioneers 8-5 in that category. The thing is, when they're bringing down those offensive boards, they're just trying to throw the shot back up. We've seen a few times, especially at the beginning of the game, they kicked it out and were able to circle the ball around and cycle it around and able to get a basket to go. But sometimes when you bring it down, you try and rush that shot. You got 3 girls with their hands trying to swat it away, and contested shots more often than not won't go in. Got to take care of the basketball when you get those offensive rebounds, get the second chances.
Right, and usually if you have 3 people on you under the rim, there's going to be people open on the outside. Profs definitely have to look for that. Almost turned it over, but Johnson gets it back and then gives it right up. Giordano has it for the Pioneers. Elting to Giordano, wide open in the corner. 3 in and out, no good. Johnson, another rebound. Profs trying to push the pace here. Marshall wide open, nobody on her for 3. Good! And you cannot leave Grace Marshall wide open like that.
You just can't do that. Grace Marshall had time to set her feet, line it up, and knock it down. No pressure on her whatsoever.
And Cabezas has it. Duluth, 4-2, good. And the Profs and Pioneers getting some easy buckets on their end. Nice behind the back by Savannah Holt. Brown has it on the outside. Handoff, Ayanna Johnson back to Brown. Brown trying to go through defenders, no good. Duluth getting it in front of Marshall. And contested by Marshall, no good. She's on the ground. And she does not look good right now. Not really sure if it was an ankle, but.
Well, here's a look at the Grace Marshall 3 before she went down. Knocks it down, barely a contest. But now Marshall being tended to by the athletic training staff.
And for the Profs, hopefully it was just a tweak of an ankle or something where she can just shake it off real quick. Looks like she is in a little bit of pain, though, so we're going to have to see. Profs up by 6. Pioneers cutting the lead a little bit shorter.
And we're going to go to commercial break right now, and we'll be back after this.
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else, and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
That's a fruit. A vegetable? I know it's a fruit, but like it's a vegetable.
I'm gonna go with vegetable.
It's a fruit.
Vegetable? Tomato's a vegetable.
It's a fruit.
Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
I'm gonna go with vegetable. Fruit.
Fruit. Vegetable.
I just know it's a fruit. I thought it was a vegetable though.
It's a fruit because it has seeds in it. I knew that one.
And we're back here at SB Gym. Almost a steal by Santana. And if you're a little worried about Grace Marshall, she was able to get up. She's being attended to now. So for the Profs, hopefully everything's all right. The Pioneers get the ball, but they're going to turn it over. Savannah Holt gets fouled. She's taken all the contact all the way.
You'll see a bad inbound pass here from Giordano as she wasn't on the same page as DeFrank. Holt gets fouled going to the rack.
And Holt being smart, and you know, sometimes inbound passes are easy, but she's being smart, a defensive brain right there, and being able to pick that pass off.
Well, you saw in the replay, Giordano with a head nod trying to tell Rosas to move back a little bit. And the pass just a little bit too high.
And Brianna Brooks in the game for the first time. Takes out Rosa. Dulude has it. Brooks is going to turn it over. Another steal by Holt, but Dulude gets it right back. And wow, Mark, I don't know about that one. Santana was straight up there. Maybe she just didn't have her feet set, but they thought it was enough to send Dulude to the line once again.
Well, it looked like Dulude was almost falling down, and that's where head coach Demetrius Poles is asking the referee, how is that a foul when she was already heading to the ground when she put the shot up?
Yeah, and I think the Golden Globes were last week, so she's a little late for the date, but I guess the officials think otherwise. Dulude 2 for 2 from the strike and cuts the lead 23-17. The Profs go to Savannah Holt. Mallard driving in the lane. 3 people on her, blocked by Cabezas. You got to be excited about that. It's happening to them a lot on the other end from Johnson. The Pioneers getting their fair share.
Like Soriano was the one that got in there on the block. And shutting down Mallard underneath, certainly not an easy task.
Johnson double team from Brooks, gives it to Holt, lays it in. And there we go, talking about maybe trying to force shots too much. Right there, she saw the double team coming. She decided to give it up, and an easy 2 for Holt.
You see the inbound pass from Holt, just gets back underneath, calling for it, and Johnson didn't hold on to the ball too long. She got rid of it quickly, saw Holt was there. Good distribution from Ayanna Johnson.
Profs up by 8. Dulude, over to Giordano. Dulude. Shot clock getting low, 5 seconds. Soriano drives in, blocked by Johnson. Johnson gives it to Brown. Brown over to Holt. Actually, Santana has it. Kicks it out to Mallard, sharing the ball nicely. Holt for the finish, no good. Rebound. Pioneers. And the Profs playing very aggressive on the defensive end, but a foul picked up from Brown. And on that last exchange there,
Rowan sharing the ball very nicely, not forcing anything. I would have liked to see Mallard take that shot, though, because I think she was a little bit more wide open than Savannah Holt was. But I'm also not on the court, so.
Well, sometimes the extra pass helps, and other times the extra pass is just unnecessary. On that one, it could have gone either way. She could have taken the open three, but we know what Savannah Holt can do from beyond the arc, and so do these profs. So it's not necessarily a bad decision.
Savannah Holt fakes from three, and she's going to get called for the travel. Coach Pohl's not too happy about the call. But a turnover on the profs. Just over 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Profs hold that 8-point lead. And deflected by Mallard. Pioneers able to get it in. Giordano. Brooks trying to get it into Soriento. She's able to. Mismatch here. Caldwell on Soriento. But Kennedy Brown's going to come to help. Dulude. Nice step. Air ball. Rebound Cabezas, and she puts it in. The Profs just a little bit lost offensively there. Trying to help out. Savannah Holt, they find her again for three. No good. She gets her own rebound. Mallard trying to cut in. Johnson. Holt. Caldwell inside to Johnson, and she throws it away. She thought Mallard could have gotten the pass there.
She was looking for Mallard on that play, but here's the previous basket as Cabezas, you can see, gets the air ball shot by Dulude, puts it up. But I'll tell you what, the Pioneers doing a good job locking down Nicole Mallard, who was the Rookie of the Week last week in the NJAC. And I'm sure that part of the game plan coming in, knowing that she's a big part of the lineup, was to lock her down. And right now, not much to say from Mallard. Only 2 points on the game, only attempted 3 field goals.
And for Mallard, she is a good three-point shooter. At the block by Ayanna Johnson, one again. She is a good three-point shooter, but she's definitely excels in driving to the basket, and the Pioneers just cutting that off for her.
Well, she's trying to get the backdoor cuts to go, and that's what happened. Opening basket, Mallard, backdoor cut, able to get those 2 points, but since then has been quiet, hasn't been able to get more than 2 shots from the field.
Shot by Cabezas, bounces around the rim and in. So the Profs now only up by 4. Mallard trying to get the screen from Johnson, but Dulude's all over her. Friley just coming back into the game. Caldwell to Brown. Driving in the lane. Mallard wide open three. No good. Rebound Johnson. There's a lot of contact there, but no call. And the Pioneers are going to throw it away. That's number 3, Kai Adams, who just entered the game. And the Profs out rebounding the Pioneers 23-17, and a lot of that has to do with Ayanna Johnson, Mark.
Ayanna Johnson, no points so far tonight in the first half, but the stat line still glistening. 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and count them 5 blocks for Johnson.
And Alexis Criley just drives smoothly into the lane. She's fouled, went up with the right hand instead of the left, and it benefited her. She's, as you see right here, trying to talk to her teammates, just explain some things. Probably the lead. They want more of a lead here, but she's going to try and get 2 from the free throw line. First one up and good. And she goes 2 for 2. Jaslyn Duverglass coming in for Paige Caldwell. She'll get her first eyes of the game, and Jakayla Elting coming in for the Pioneers. Duverglass, a sophomore on this Profs team. And almost taken away by the Profs. Last off, Alexis Criley.
The Profs bench was on their feet trying to point the other way. They wanted possession.
And Giordano trying to get her team right back in. Cabezas had it, lost it. Profs ball. Kennedy Brown trying to set up a play. Johnson fakes one way, goes the other, lays up, no good. Rebound Cabezas. It was a nice move by Johnson, taken away by Mallard. And taken away again by Giordano. Just a sloppy exchange from both teams there. Blocked by Ayana Johnson. The Profs have it. Let's see if they can hold on to the ball. Criley goes up with it. She's fouled. She'll get two at the line. Mark, that exchange right there.
I mean,
what do you got to say about it?
Both teams back and forth, turnover after turnover, but this is the best one of the bunch. A block from Ayana Johnson. 6 blocks already in the first half. We still got 3:48 left to go. I mean, look at it. Whatever angle you see that from, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and as we said, Johnson, no points in this game so far, but definitely contributing on the defensive end, getting her team a chance to get some points, and the first one up and good. Caldwell coming in for Johnson. And just about under 4 minutes remaining, the Profs 28-21 lead. Criley 2 for 2 from the strike. She's getting her fair share of free throws tonight. Able to capitalize on them. Taken away by Mallard. And misses the layup. Just bouncing around the rim. You cannot miss those shots. Pioneers trying to capitalize. Elting drives in, misses her own layup. And it looks like it's going to be a foul on Jaslyn Duverglass as she tried to go for the loose ball. Her first of the night. And for Nicole Mallard, beautiful steal. You can't miss that layup, though. It went around the rim and out. And it looks like Cabeza stepped on the sideline. So Profs ball. Brown to Mallard. Wide open Alexis Criley. She's going to jump it in for 2. Good. Alexis Criley dribbling in to take the 2-pointer, and it's good. Delude has it on the other end. Giordano into Cabezas. Drives in, and it looks like it's going to be a jump ball. I'm not sure if Mallard or Duverglass got their hand on it, but good defense by the Profs. Right there, we saw Alexis Criley's jumper. And an air ball by the Pioneers. Rebound, Caldwell. Dribbles out of a double team. Sees Nicole Mallard, and that's going to be a travel on Mallard. It was either going to be a travel or an offensive foul. Either way, a turnover on the Profs.
If you're the Profs and Nicole Mallard, you're actually glad that they called a travel because it's not a personal foul against you. And Mallard already tonight doesn't even have a personal foul, but still, they build up quickly regardless of how many you have at a certain point in the game.
Giordano for 3, air ball, but rebound to the Pioneers. Elting over for the Pioneers for 3, and it's in. And that's Teresa Beso. Coming in for her first share of the game. Criley turns it over to Elting. Intended for Duverglass. 7-point lead for the Profs. Cabezas. No good. Caldwell with the rebound, dribbling around. Brown. To Criley. Criley with the jumper. No good. Rebound to the Pioneers. Just over a minute remaining in the first half. Profs holding the lead for now. Besso to Cabezas. Dulude open. And that's going to be a foul. Caldwell and Duverglass were both there, but it looks like it's going to be on Caldwell.
Well, Caldwell got her hand in there surely, and when she went in for the shot, the hand wasn't there, but as she started to pull it up towards her shoulder, that's when the hand was reaching at the ball, got a piece of the arm. Good call by the referee.
And Savannah Holt, Ayanna Johnson coming in as we see here. Dulude, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 for 7 shooting. She, I feel, has gotten a lot of her points from the line tonight. Getting a lot of the foul calls for the Pioneers.
Well, Dulude 4 for 6. Make it 5 for 7 from the free throw line tonight.
And for the Profs as well, Juliette Tobin making her first appearance of the night. Just over a minute remaining. Profs up by 6. Ayanna Johnson going around, gets her own rebound and banks it in. Ayanna Johnson not giving up. Pioneers. Besso has it over to Elting. No good. Rebound Mallard. She's immediately triple team. Gets out of it. Holt. Pass to Tobin. Lays it in. And Holt just kind of slowing that down, making sure she doesn't turn the ball over, getting that nice bounce pass in to Juliette Tobin.
It's a smart heads-up play.
Out on the outside for the Pioneers and good. Besso. I believe it's her second shot of the game and already hit 2 from downtown. And now for the Profs, there's over 10 seconds remaining. Tobin fakes for 3, gets open. Looked like it was tipped. Johnson goes up with it and it's good. And that is going to be the end of the second quarter. The Profs do lead 37-28.
How about this heads-up play by Mallard? Saves it right to Johnson, and nobody on the Pioneers was expecting her to be able to put that back. And another look at it here. Looked like the shot got deflected, and Mallard saves it, finds Johnson, puts it back, and that's why Rowan goes into the halftime break up 9.
Rowan up 9, as you said, 37-28. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more second half action as we are in NJAC coverage here. Make sure you stay tuned for the second half. We'll be back after a short break.
Favorite emoji, and you have to make the face.
Oh my god.
Oh, I like the dancing one.
The one where the eyes are looking up like this.
Like the monkey covering the eyes like this.
Probably the monkey one when it's like.
All right, the laughing face. I don't know what to do. How are you supposed to make that?
I like the one where they're like with the eyes closed and like the water coming out because like they're laughing or crying.
Favorite emoji? The little tongue.
All right, I'm changing it now. I'll do the horror eye emoji.
Oh, I use the upside down emoji, so I guess.
The fourth person to say that.
Yeah, so you just gotta, turn your head, frowny face. Sunglasses.
The one that's like.
I like the star one. I don't like that.
In one word, if I had to describe Trifecta Therapeutics,
if I had to describe Trifecta in one word, it would be power. The purpose of Trifecta Therapeutics would be to empower the athletic community.
I just really like the population of having active individuals and people who really want to get back, doing whatever they could to get back and want to be part of that process.
We want them to feel like this is an environment where they belong and where they're going to get the best possible care.
This is a professional environment. They're all working with their doctor, physical therapy, but I want them to be comfortable and fun.
Not only do we want to rehab you from your injuries, we want to get you to an optimal place as an athlete.
My clients are also there. They're active, they're hungry, they all want to get back to something.
They're focused and they're dedicated. That's a perfect combination.
If you really want to be challenged and get to your goals faster, that's why I would say come here.
Is cereal soup? No. I don't know why.
No. Definitely not.
Yes. I guess. I don't know. Wait, is it? I don't know.
Is cereal soup?
No.
Is cereal a soup? Is cereal a soup? No.
Cold soup, I guess. Never really thought about it that way.
No, it's not. Cereal.
No.
No, definitely not.
No.
No, because it's not hot.
No, it's the milk is the liquid part. It's not a broth. Next question.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's gonna become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
What would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse?
What kind of question is that? That's a bad question.
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
I would say a monkey. Yeah.
A kangaroo or something? Because that'd be a big pocket, you know?
A butterfly.
Maybe like a lizard, but then no, because then that'd kind of be like an alligator, you know?
Maybe like just a big puppy. I don't know.
A dog.
Probably a dog, like Clifford style.
A bunny.
You gonna say a frog? Just frogs jumping around. That'll be interesting.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
My biggest pet peeve is people not putting their blinkers on when they're driving, so I don't know when to go.
Okay, so Paige is my roommate, and she walks really fast, so she never walks with me.
Actually walking with Juliet because she's so slow. And walking anywhere with her is a struggle.
When people chew with their mouth open.
I guess I don't like when people chew with their mouths open. I guess I can't knock it because like I kind of eat like a slob, but like I keep my mouth closed when I do it, you know?
People chew their gum and like snap it like a million times.
When you tell someone to close the door and they leave it on like the slightest crack and you have to get up and close it.
Probably when, you know, someone's on their phone and they still don't answer your text.
I hate when you're like with a group of people and then you're walking somewhere and then they just stop right in front of you. I hate that.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
How old is Demetrius, your coach?
Well, he won the national championship in 1986, right? 86, 89? 96. Oh, that means he's really old. Is he gonna know my answer? Wait, I really want to figure it out. He would be like 22 in 96. Probably like 45? Plus 4, 28, plus 19. I'm not sure. I don't want to guess that. I really don't know.
He's a little bit older than my dad. My dad's 45, so I'm gonna say 46.
40, wait, 28 plus 50?
48.
42. 39. 48, 47.
I don't want to butcher this, but I'm gonna say 48.
46? Like 37?
49.
40 something. I'm gonna leave it at around 40.
I learned a lot of valuable lessons playing college football. I never thought about the health benefits of exercise until I actually started to talk to coaches in college. It's not only just for performance, it's for life. My coaches instilled the importance of well-being, not only building up strength, mental health, getting enough sleep, eating properly is all what it is to be healthy. I decided that I want to go into personal trainer and share my knowledge that I obtained in college about physical and mental well-being.
And we are back at halftime. Profs lead by 9 points. I am Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Mark Attitelli. And as we see head-to-head in today's game, these are the point leaders for the Pioneers and for the Rowan University Profs. 10 points for Madison Dulude and 9 for Alexis Criley. The difference is Criley is coming off the bench for the Profs, but she is getting a lot more minutes, maybe than usual, because Coach Poles might be utilizing her to be that spark. Obviously, we see here it's working for the Profs as she does lead the team in scoring right now.
Alexis Criley, 7 for 8 from the free throw line. That's where most of her points have come. And you see right here, both the teams really struggling from the field. Prof shooting just under 29%. Meanwhile, William Paterson about 27%. Both teams struggling from beyond the arc. The Profs, though, 11 for 12 from the free throw line, which is the big thing we wanted to see coming into this game. And how about that rebound battle, 29-20?
Yeah, definitely. And for the Profs, the thing we also want to see is them kind of lessen their turnovers. They do have 12 turnovers right now, Pioneers 11, so not much of a difference there. Both a little bit of sloppy play, especially in that second quarter, just turning the ball over constantly. So I think for both of these teams, they need to reduce those turnovers.
Certainly do, and we talked about it going into the game, taking care of the basketball, so important, and we saw an exchange with about 2 minutes left. It was brutal from both teams. 2 turnovers for each squad back-to-back, an Ayanna Johnson block, and the Profs finally able to take it down and draw a shooting foul. But both teams just at center court, just forcing passes, turning it over, not taking care of the basketball. It was some sloppy basketball to end the half.
It was, and interesting enough here, Coach Poles starting Alexis Criley in the second half instead of Grace Marshall for obvious reason, as we see she is the leading point leader right now for Rowan as we get underway here in this second half. Criley driving to the basket. She does not get her way. Offensive rebound, Johnson. Santana drives in over McBride. No good. Rebound to the Pioneers.
Well, Santana was trying to get the call there, driving into the paint. Wasn't awarded it.
And Dulude goes for the jumper. No good. Rebound to Mallard. Santana drives in. They kind of just gave her the lane there. And Profs, just like that, up 11.
Well, she's so close to the basket, you might as well just give her the lane, or else you know you're going to get a foul and a possible and one opportunity.
And Giordano going over Santana. Good basket by her. Johnson at the top of the key. Criley. Profs not rushing it so far. And Coach Poles calling a timeout. It's going to be 30 seconds, so we will keep things here. And it looks like he's kind of getting on Ayanna Johnson there. I guess not sustaining her position in the post on the offensive end so far.
Yeah, well, Johnson's doing a good job bringing down the boards, but on the offensive end, she's been pretty quiet. Only 4 points in tonight's game. At one point, she had 0. I think all 4 points came at the end of the first half. So offensively needs to get herself going, and we're used to seeing her put up double-doubles and pretty solid point numbers. We obviously know that she's going to bring on the rebounds with her height being 5'11", the tallest player on the Profs roster.
Yeah, and she definitely something she was able to get going last game. Really did well inside offensively. Not so much today, but it is still early. A nice bounce pass to Criley. Had the open Mallard, but threw it off the Pioneers. And for the Pioneers, we have Rosa Dulude Giordano, along with DeFrank and McBride. Santana for 3, no good. And a Pioneers rebound. And for the Pioneers, DeFrank, 3. Good. It looked like it was going to go in and out for a second, but rolls her way in.
Well, the Pioneers haven't been getting a majority of the bounces here tonight, but that one goes their way in and out, and then back in again off the backboard.
Pioneers cutting the lead to 6. Criley, 10 seconds on the shot clock, gives it to Brown. Brown into Johnson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Reverse, no good. Offensive rebound. She has to put it up. And Criley gets it to go. Sudden death for the Profs there with the shot clock, and they're able to figure out a way to get some points. Stolen by Santana. Santana's going to drive in, and a charge called on Santana, so no basket, and she will pick up the foul. And it was a good move, but Rosa was just in perfect position to get that call.
You can see the frustration on Santana's face. She thought she drew the N1 opportunity. Referee saw it another way, but you're right. Good feet placement by Rosa, able to get underneath the basket, and it's not easy to take those charges, especially when players are coming in with such speed and force.
Yeah, not at all, and Coach Poles a little bit frustrated. He's saying that was on number 11 of the Pioneers, so I'm not really sure what he's trying to figure out here. I actually believe they just tried to mark the foul on Alexis Criley, but he was pointing at the Pioneers' number 11, which is Rosa. So not really sure what the confusion is. They're calling the foul on 44. So as they reported it to begin with, an offensive foul, I think Coach Poles was trying to plot his case for it should be an end one, but officials sticking to their initial call.
It's kind of hard to overturn something like that, especially at this level. You know, the D1 level, you got replay. I don't even know if in the rules you can overturn a call like that somehow, but not going to get what he wanted there, and the Profs give up 2 points.
Giordano kind of finds the open lane. Profs just letting her sail on through. Brown driving in the lane on McBride, and she's fouled. As we said before, it's what Kennedy Brown does best, driving to the lane and trying to absorb contact. And it seems that a lot of teams fall for it.
Well, it's kind of hard not to, because if you let Kennedy Brown drive in almost uncontested, she can get those funky layups to go in. But then if you get in her way, you at least have an opportunity to stop her, but she will go to the free throw line.
And first free throw is good by Brown. And for the Profs, we know that Grace Marshall actually got hurt in that first half. So she has not been back in the game. It also could just be because Criley is having a really good game. Marshall may be struggling a little bit in Coach Pole's eyes, but not really sure on the situation there. And Rosa is going to bring up the ball for the Pioneers. Trying to set up a play here. Soriano with the pick to Frank. Inside, Dulude from 3. Air ball, and that is going to be Prof's ball as it goes off of Giordano.
It's great ball movement by the Pioneers. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much mustard on the shot.
And for the Pioneers, it seems that number 24, Besso, who came in later in that second quarter, was really hitting the 3 ball for them. But besides that, it really hasn't been anybody consistently. As Savannah Holt, a nice move, and one! Lays it in! And she's going to try to get the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Well, Savannah Holt, known for getting 3 points from beyond the arc, showing a different way to get there, driving in, gets the layup to go. You'll see it here. Got a screen from Johnson, a nice dribble move to cut in, and on 2 defenders, off the glass and in. And look at the smiles, her and Criley getting into it with each other.
And Holt unable to get the free throw. Profs up 9. Wide open, blocked by Ayanna Johnson, and you could hear that from outside of the ESB gym.
Well, Ayanna, at her height, sometimes it's just too easy. And if you hesitate even a little bit and Ayanna Johnson's coming to cut down your angle, you're most likely going to get blocked.
Rosa in to Sorrentino and taken away by Alexis Criley. Kennedy Brown has it. She goes around her defender and lays it in. She didn't want to make the same mistake as Santana, so she's going to go around and figure out another way. Soriano jumper. Good. The Profs up 9. And Coach Bowles yelling out a play, and field goals 15 for 46 for the Profs, 13 for 40 for William Paterson. And a foul on Soriano.
And here's a look at a three from the corner, and Ayanna Johnson. There's the swat that we saw. And you can see just a little hesitation. Ayanna Johnson, not necessarily the quickest player on the court for Rowan, but she got over there in quite a hurry. And any type of hesitation will result in a block shot if she's in front of you.
And Criley taking the ball in, no good. Rebound, Johnson thought she got fouled. And Dulude breaks the double team by Holt and Criley. DeFrank taking it in. And it looks like Mallard got a hand on it. And coming in for the Pioneers is number 32, Justina Cabezas. And number 23, Jacayla Elting. And for the Profs, number 24, Caldwell, coming in for Alexis Criley.
One Prof we're most likely not going to see until late in the fourth quarter. Eliana Santana, she's at 4 fouls already because of that charge that was called a few minutes ago.
If I lose?
For Giordano. And you think Santana on that play, you know, she could have had the N1, but that's even more disappointing knowing she's in foul trouble. Caldwell from 3, no good. Rebound, Savannah Holt lays it in with the left hand. And Holt just trailed that beautifully. Taken away by Mallard, and she was tripped. And it looked like Danica DeFrank right there just like was holding on to her foot.
Well, look at Holt with the putback, and you're right, DeFrank ended up tripping Nicole Mallard.
And a timeout on the floor. It is 30 seconds, so we will keep things here. And for the Profs, they're up 11 right now, and I think in the second half, we're seeing them more share the ball rather than just them forcing shots.
Yeah, Profs definitely moving the ball as a team. And right now you got 2 girls tied for the team lead in points. Savannah Holt and Alexis Criley both with 11. Holt shooting better from the field at 4 for 8. But you got to look at Ayanna Johnson's stat line. Only 4 points, but she nearly has a double-double in just rebounds and blocks. 17 rebounds and 7 blocks for Johnson underneath right now. If she's able to get the points going, gets 3 more blocks, she could be looking at a triple-double tonight.
And I think the biggest thing for her, it looks like she doesn't have any fouls, which we see sometimes Ayanna Johnson, because she is such a good rebounder and she blocks so many offensive players, that sometimes she gets that foul call. But everything's been clean tonight. She's really been able to be effective on the defensive end without getting into foul trouble. And I think for the Profs, that's a huge story on today's game.
Ayanna Johnson, such a key part of the Profs' offense and defense, both in the rebound category. And we have seen multiple times this season and last year with the Profs, she gets into foul trouble early. You're right, it just so happens with the position she plays, you see they get a lot more contact underneath, susceptible to fouls, but she's done a great job tonight.
And Mallard, it looked like a clean block from here, but the officials saw some contact, so she will go to the line.
Here's another look at it. Mallard finds Johnson, pass underneath, and you can see got a little bit of a shove in the back as her body was pushed forward by the shoulders.
Good call by the officials as Mallard makes the first one. And sometimes when there's a clean block, you always think, oh, there's no foul, but the officials are looking at every part so they can see if there's a shove in the back. And that's exactly what happened. Mallard 2 from 2 from the free throw line. Now the Profs up 12. Dulude. Profs want to travel, no good. Elting from 3. Rebound, Johnson. She's going to give it to Savannah Holt. Holt, nice bounce pass, but blocked by Elting. Mallard drives in. And 1. Mallard taking the hard contact by Cabezas. And once again, 3-point play the old-fashioned way, Mark.
Nicole Mallard really turned it on here in the second half. Was quiet for a majority of the first. We said she got the opening points. Didn't do much after that, but here in the second, doing exactly what she needs to do, taking it to the rack, absorbing the contact, and getting it going off the glass.
And I think, as we said in that first half, that she was kind of forced to get her points beyond the arc, and now they're letting her drive in, and she's having her way. Mallard, good 3-point play, and the Profs are extending their lead. The Pioneers not trying to fall too far behind. For the most part, it's been a close game, but the Profs able to get some space. Giordano inside. Blocked by Ayana Johnson. A double-double on defense. That's something to be heard for this Profs team. Holt thought about the three, fakes it, loses the ball for a second. Johnson lays it in, goes under her defender, and Soriano. And a foul on Nicole Mallard as she was trying to get the steal.
Here's Ayana Johnson finally getting it going offensively underneath, bodying down Soriano and able to turn around and get it to go off the glass.
And Mark, you can tell she wants the ball. She's doing the work inside, positioning herself and just going right under, making it look easy with the right hand. And Giordano kicks it out to Elting. Elting inside, turns it over. Pass right out of the hands of Brooks. No reason to rush here if you're the Profs. Mallard from the corner, no good. Fights for her own rebound, but she is going to... Actually, Elting got called for the foul, so it's going to be a foul on the Pioneers. And it looks like the Pioneers are in the bonus, so Mallard will go to the free throw line.
Well, Elting got a little bit lackadaisical on the loose ball, and Mallard just swooped in and took it away. Earned herself an opportunity at the line, and she knocks down the first.
It's so, when you're shooting that three ball, you can't always expect it to go in. So Mallard following that and awarding herself 2 at the line. And tonight, 8 points. A lot of that coming in this second half. Brooks to Delude. Trying to get Giordano open in the corner. Tipped by Johnson. That almost goes in. That would have been a story to tell if it did. Nicole Mallard having her way. She is just a freshman, Mark. Caldwell steals it. Turns it right back over, trying to give it to Kennedy Brown. Just not enough on that pass. Giordano blocked by Johnson. Johnson to Kennedy Brown. Gives it to Holt. Holt's going to pull from 3. Good! Savannah Holt not taking the drive in, and that is going to be a timeout call by the Pioneers. Head coach Monahan had enough. It's a full timeout, so we will go to break. Props up 62-37. We'll be right back after this, but right now a replay.
Holt spots up from 3, knocked it down.
And it looks like we are going to keep things here as we needed to show some of the great things the Profs just did. The Profs really extending this lead, Mark. And what have you seen from them differently in this second half?
Well, right now, Rowan's just taking the game over. 62-37 lead, 25-point margin right now. Just look at the change. Profs already get the field goal percentage up about 6 percentage points. 3-point field goals have gone down for Rowan, still 17 for 20 from the free throw line. That's where you got to take advantage of those free points when you're not shooting as well from the field. And the rebound margin, the gap is large enough to where the Profs have the advantage. They've taken care of the ball this quarter. Meanwhile, William Paterson has turned the ball over 6 times in just the third quarter alone.
Yeah, and the Profs really taking advantage of the turnover, something that they do very well as a team. There's still a whole quarter left to play in the fourth. So this game's not over yet, but the Profs getting some serious separation. Giordano gives it to Brooks. Brooks over to Soriano, blocked by Mallard, and his steal. Caldwell comes up with it. Caldwell looks like she's going to take herself, gives it to Mallard, and fouled. A great pass by Caldwell, finding the open man. And Mallard once again is going to reward herself, or try to reward herself from the strike. As we see here, 11 points. And the Profs making some substitutions as they see this lead extending. First free throw up and good, and number 15, Carly Burns, seeing her first time of the game. 21, Juliette Tobin, and it looks like Jaslyn Duverglass is going to come in as well. And second free throw up, but no good. Emma Giacchetti in for the Pioneers. Elting. A good pass to Delude. She's able to get it. Elting over to Giacchetti. Giordano puts it up good. Right from the elbow. And Mark, we really don't see Carly Burns get much time for this team, but the Profs having this lead, trying to see what she has and how she can roll with some of the starters of the Profs.
Well, this game certainly isn't over yet, so these minutes are still meaningful with how much time's left to go, but you want to see what everybody can do, especially in these NJAC contests. For the rest of the year, the Profs are playing all NJAC opponents, so it's straight up NJAC play until the end of the regular season, and then if the Profs continue their winning ways, they'll make it into the NJAC postseason. So they're going to be seeing the same teams a whole heck of a lot the rest of the year.
And the Profs definitely, right now, we would think them to do well in the tournament, but still a season as Ayanna Johnson, as she just went out, but she's on a tear. 6 points, 20 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 9 blocks. She's just doing a little bit of everything today. And 20 seconds, about 10 seconds separating the shot and game clock. Giordano pulls up from the corner, no good. Rebound, Mallard, she has 10 seconds. Mallard gives it to Duverglass. Duverglass, Caldwell wide open. No good. Rebound, Giordano. Will she have enough time to put it up? No. And the Profs lead this game 63-39. Some serious separation in the third quarter, but this game's not over yet. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back after this.
In one word, if I had to describe Trifecta Therapeutics, if I had to describe Trifecta in one word, it would be empower. The purpose of Trifecta Therapeutics would be to empower the athletic community.
I just really like the population of having active individuals and people who really want to get back, doing whatever they could to get back and want to be part of that process.
We want them to feel like this is an environment where they belong and where they're going to get the best possible care.
This is a professional environment. They're all working with their doctor, physical therapy, but I want them to be comfortable and fun.
Not only do we want to rehab you from your injuries, we want to get you to an optimal place as an athlete.
My clients are also they're active, they're hungry, they all want to get back to something.
They're focused and they're dedicated. That's a perfect combination.
If you really want to be challenged and get to your goals faster, that's why I would say come here.
And we are back in SB Gym as the Profs hold a 24-point lead. And right now the Profs just utilizing their bench to see what they have and see if they can keep this lead, Mark.
Yeah, well, the Profs are sending in the second unit to start off the quarter. And they were just so dominant in the third, able to make that 24-point gap, as you mentioned, when we came back to start the final quarter of play.
And Burns on Delude, gives it to Giordano. 10 seconds on the shot clock. She's going to pull up for 3. No good. Rebound, Duverglass. Tobin trying to take it in. It's going to be deflected by Brooks out on the Pioneers. And I heard Coach Pohl scream from over here, one more, as Caldwell was open in the corner. Inbound goes to Criley and a jump ball. An aggressive play by Giordano trying to get the steal. Possession in favor of the Profs, so they will try and do it again. Tobin gets the inbound. Burns driving in. No good. Rebound. Burns, but it is going to be a jump ball as Elting got in on the action. Possession in favor of William Paterson.
Well, Profs got away with one jump ball already. The second time, obviously the possession arrow switches, so can't get away with it 2 times in a row.
And Brooks on the open floor. Giordano. DeLude trying to take on Tobin. No good. Rebound, Duverglass. Duverglass getting the double team. Gets it away to Caldwell. Caldwell jump stop. No good. Rebound, Brooks.
Koba had way more time. Could have taken her time, set her feet, and then threw the shot up.
And looked at like that was blocked by Duverglass, and it's going to be off DeLude, so Profs ball. And a nice play if you're Duverglass there, not picking up the foul, staying straight and up enough where you don't pick up that contact, but also being able to get a hand on the ball.
How about the sportsmanship from Duverglass as well? Player down on the ground, other team. Yeah, I know I just swatted you, but let me help you up too as well. It'd be a good sport.
Yeah, definitely. Good sportsmanship by the Profs as she loses the ball here. Giordano trying to take on Burns. Gives it to DeLude. DeLude, nice pivot. Brooks for 2. No good. Rebound, Pioneers. Giordano from the corner, good. Giordano just taking it herself. And a walk on Burns. As Eliana Santana, who sat most of that third quarter because she was in foul trouble with 4 personal fouls, comes in for Duverglass. As Coach Pohl's not happy that the Profs haven't scored any points since they came out in this fourth quarter. So putting back in some of the players that were able to maintain that lead on William Paterson.
Well, there's only one player missing from that tear the Profs went on in the third quarter. It's Ayanna Johnson getting a much-needed rest on the bench. You have to hope to see her come in. She's only a block away from a double-double. And if she adds 4 points into that, she'll have a triple-double.
And shot by Giordano, no good. Profs ball. And if you're the Profs, my guess is because Cabezas or Soriano are not in, which are the main defenders that Ayanna Johnson was facing up against, that's why Poles is not utilizing Ayanna Johnson. But if they come in, then he might have to think differently. Savannah Hull almost loses the ball, able to get it back. Kennedy Brown drives in, kicks it out for Criley. No good. Rebound, Giordano. And she's going to lead to Brooks as Brooks misses the layup. Heard Kennedy Brown's footsteps behind her and just rushed the layup a little bit, but. And DeLude picks up her first personal foul. So the Profs up 21, just trying to take control of this game with about 7 minutes remaining in the fourth. Still a lot of time for a comeback, but if they just play the defense they've been playing all game and score on the offensive end, it's going to be very hard for the Pioneers to maintain that.
Profs need to keep their foot on the gas for the rest of the game. Certainly a sizable margin at 21-point lead for Rowan, but still got to try and put points on the board.
And Santana drives in, no good. And that's going to be a travel called on Mallard, and Coach Pohl's very upset about that. But it will be Pioneers ball. Dulude. Crowd wanting her to shoot that three. She decides to pass it up. Brooks fakes out Holt. And I believe the foul is going to be, yes, called on Savannah Holt. No shot, so it'll be under the basket. And it seems that nobody on the Profs is really in foul trouble right now besides Eliana Santana. So you don't want to pick up too many fouls, but a few fouls won't hurt you. Mallard gives it to Criley. Criley going in, misses the layup. Looked like it was tipped by Brooks. And a jump ball. Possession in favor of the Profs. So they'll get a shot at it again with that missed layup from Criley.
Both teams right now have been struggling. Profs 1 for 7 from the field their last 7 attempts.
Savannah Holt for three, too short. Rebound Brooks. And Mark, if you're the Profs, you're lucky that the Pioneers aren't doing very well offensively right now because the Profs are kind of stagnant at the moment. So if the Pioneers were doing a lot better offensively, they could seriously make a comeback right now.
Well, like we said, when they put in the second unit to start the fourth quarter, this game wasn't out of hand. I mean, we saw how many points the Profs were able to put up in the third quarter. And William Paterson had plenty of time to start mounting a comeback, and that'll help the cause.
And Dulude open for three. Holt giving it into Santana, and an immediate foul call. And that's on number 21, Giacchetti. She was defending Santana. And it's going to be an offensive foul, I believe, on Alexis Criley. Actually, it's on Santana. I was actually going to ask this. That's her 5th foul, so she fouled out of the game. I was just about to ask if Santana fouls out, does Ayanna Johnson come back into the game? And we see it right here, so having a chance to pick up that double-double.
Santana not too thrilled right now. She was frustrated when she was called for a charge earlier on that put her in foul trouble.
And Kennedy Brown gets the steal. She's going to lay it in with the left hand. And Kennedy Brown just had the open floor and being able to put her team up. I believe that's the first points of the fourth quarter for the Profs.
Kennedy Brown made everybody think a little bit as it kind of held its way on the rim and then finally rolled the right way.
And Brooks faking out Santana not only once but twice. Johnson. Holt for three. No good. Rebound Johnson, but taken away by Giordano. And Brooks open. And good defense by Mallard as it goes off the leg of Brooks. Trying to strip the ball and then going off of her leg, so that will be rewarded Prof's ball. Kind of hard to see from here, but Coach Monahan not too happy about it.
Coach Monahan trying to plead her case to the referee. And the William Paterson faithful who made the trip to Glassboro, New Jersey for this game, they weren't happy about the call either.
Yeah, not at all. It isn't that close of a trip, and a quick jump ball call there, as Mallard did rip it away, but it will be in possession of the Pioneers. And I can see why Poles is frustrated because Mallard ripped that one away, had a lane to the rim wide open, and they called it a jump ball very quickly. Giordano for three. No good. Rebound Johnson. Criley, baseline, and she got too close to the baseline, out of bounds, Pioneers ball. And Mark, do you think Johnson's going to pick up another block?
I think she most definitely will, because right now, the way the Pioneers getting points is taking it underneath, and particularly in transition, they're taking it to the basket. But if they're able to set their offense up and try and get it underneath to one of their bigger players who Johnson's guarding. Right now, Johnson's going to have to guard Emma Giacchetti underneath the basket. And if she gets close enough with the way her wingspan is and how tall she is, I'm almost certain she can get one more block before the final 4:07 is up here tonight.
Yep, and a 30-second timeout for the Pioneers, I believe. So we will keep things here, and I agree with you. I mean, Johnson to get a double-double with blocks and rebounds. Not that it's unheard of because it does happen sometimes, but it's kind of crazy because a lot of the times this season it was points and rebounds, and now it's rebounds and blocks. I wonder if she has any idea if she's that close to a double-double.
Well, Ayanna Johnson's put up some crazy stat lines over her first 2 years at Rowan, and there's plenty more to come. Trust me on that.
And Johnson, she's only a sophomore, so she still has 2 more years with this team. She's already been a great asset to this Profs team. I can't imagine what she's going to be like and just improving over these 2 years to come as well. Besso out to DeFrank for 3. Good. And just like that, the Pioneers down 15. Johnson gets it taken away by Brooks. Brooks, one-on-one against Mallard, gives it up to Besso. Giacchetti open for 3. Good. And I don't know, Mark, there's 3.5 minutes left in this game. But right now, the Pioneers are cutting it close.
There's a lot of time left, plenty of time for the Pioneers to continue to mount a comeback. Right now, Rowan needs to take care of the basketball.
And Nicole Mallard, jumper, no good, gets her own rebound, tries to lays it in, no good. Ayanna Johnson, offensive rebound. Friley drives in, and they're going to call a foul on Giacchetti. But now the Pioneers only down 12.
We're going to have to see the replay on that last play because it had looked like Giacchetti got all ball, but here's another look at the three-pointer from Giacchetti before the ball went down the other end, wide open.
Who says centers can't shoot?
Look at Joel Embiid.
And the gym quiet as Alexis Criley connects on the first one.
Nowadays, with the way that basketball's trending, you know, a lot of people wanted to be like Shaq at first, that big dominant player underneath. Then people wanted to be like Kobe. And now you got people just saying Curry because everybody wants to chuck up threes. It's a flashier way to drop the ball down from long range.
Definitely a different league now. Instead of having those post matchup as Giordano drives into the lane, no good. Rebound, Johnson throws it to Brown, but too far. Turnover on the Profs. And before, you know, I guess they can call it back in the day. I don't know how some people would feel about that term. But, you know, the Charles Barkley era, you know, you're posting up, Shaquille O'Neal, and now it's just kind of everybody running around the perimeter and throwing the ball up. So definitely a different style of play in the professional leagues, but, you know, Giacchetti kind of being like that as well. Giordano for 3, and she connects. And for the Profs, only up by 11 as Criley drives in and 1! Criley answering right back. Count the basket, and she's going to go to the line.
Well, Alexis Criley just won't be denied. Leads the team in points, 15 points on the game. And here's another look at it. As Criley brought it up, just said, you know what, I'm taking it all the way myself, and gets the contact off the glass.
As she misses the and 1 free throw. 69-56 with about 2 minutes remaining as DeFrank for 3. Air ball, rebound, Mallard. Mallard kicks it to Criley. Open. Nice stop, no good. Johnson, rebound, lays it in. And for the Profs, trying to extend this lead with 2 minutes remaining. And a kick ball by Johnson.
Ayanna Johnson just 1 basket away from a double-double and 1 block away from a triple-double.
I wonder, she definitely doesn't know, but.
You'd have to think she has no idea.
Yeah, because it's just natural for her nowadays, getting a double-double, 20 points, 20 rebounds, no big deal. But Juliet Tobin's going to come in for Alexis Criley. The Profs up 15. DeFrank driving in on Johnson, and a foul. And it looked like a hard foul, but it's just because the height difference of DeFrank and Johnson. She will go to the line to shoot 2.
I think all of us wanted her to get a piece of the ball on that one and no foul be called. That would have given her the double-double with 10 blocks.
And DeFrank gets the first free throw. It'd be crazy if Johnson, just last second gets a block and gets to score 2, gets a triple-double on the night. DeFrank misses the second one. Rebound, Holt. Holt trying to push up the pace here for the Profs. Kennedy Brown, Mallard. Kennedy Brown driving in the lane. Savannah Holt finds an opening, and she gets it in. Savannah Holt getting open kind of right under the basket, and it's a no-brainer what she can do when she's right there. Etling. Dulude. Giacchetti, jumper, good. And 73-59 with just over a minute remaining in regulation. Johnson, no good. Still got time. Giordano drives in, lays it in, and good. Profs up 12. And the Profs in no hurry here. Kicking it out to Johnson. Johnson back to Tobin. She gets it taken away by Dulude. Dulude holding on to it, and a timeout by Coach Monahan, as she didn't want her player to get stuck with it. And it is a full timeout, so we will take a break here as the Profs lead 73-61. We'll be right back after this.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
And we are back here with the Profs up 12, 39 seconds remaining in regulation. And I think the Profs pretty much have this one in the bag with just a little bit of time left. Not the biggest lead that they've had all night, but a big enough lead where they can secure this one.
It's a 12-point lead, 39 seconds left to go. I mean, it is possible for the Pioneers, but they're going to need to count on the Profs most likely missing every opportunity at the free throw line.
And just taking up a little bit too much time here if you're the Pioneers and want to get a quick basket. Dulude calling for the ball inside. Tobin defending. Good. And if you're the Profs right now, you just want to slow things up. Let's get into Ayanna Johnson. And I think Kennedy Brown thought that it was a kicked ball, but it went off her foot, so it's going to be Pioneers with the shot clock shut off. So, Mark, I don't know if we're going to see Johnson's double-double. Maybe a block here.
You can get a block. There's 9.4 on the clock.
And Mallard steals it. She's going to give it up to Kennedy Brown. Brown, nice bounce pass to Savannah Holt. And that's most likely going to finish things here for the night as the Profs win the game 75-63, their 9th straight win of the season, Mark. And can you just talk about this season a little bit? You know, they are undefeated still at home. Now they're 12-1 on the season. First-year head coach Demetrius Poles. Is this what you would have thought of if you opened this women's basketball season?
Well, anytime you have a changing of the guard at the helm with head coaches, you expect there maybe to be a little bit of a hiccup in the transition. You know, you play for a certain coach for so many years. Now, granted, Coach Poles has been an assistant coach on the staff, so the transition probably not as difficult as if a brand new coach who has never been a part of the program would come in. But what Demetrius Poles has been able to do so far in his first season as the head coach of the Rowan women's basketball team, 12-1, doesn't get much better than that except maybe 13-0, and that's a game that they lost in overtime of all things. So this team is firing on all cylinders, and they're led by a core group of young players that from the sophomores in Ayanna Johnson and Grace Marshall and the freshmen in Eliana Santana and Nicole Mallard. Every single one of them in the starting lineup has just been an integral part of this team, and that's why they're on the 12-1 record.
Definitely, and I think if we had to pick a player of the game here, we've been talking about her all fourth quarter. Ayanna Johnson, 23 rebounds, 9 blocks, and 8 points. So close to a triple-double. She didn't start out very well offensively, but really picked things up when they needed her, and she was just all over the place as she usually is.
Yeah, Ayanna Johnson, you can see on the screen, 5'11" center out of Ewing, New Jersey. Final stat line for her, 8 points, 23 rebounds. That's 23 rebounds, too shy of her career high at 25. Also had 3 assists, 3 steals, and count them, 9 blocks. So she was a menace on the defensive end, bringing down board after board on offensive and defensive rebounds, and she was just an all-out basketball player here tonight.
Yeah, and as we see here, Ayanna Johnson just being so valuable on both ends of the floor for the Profs. And you can talk about Savannah Hull kind of getting in the threes and not having the best game against Cabrini. A huge comeback here. But the Profs do win their 9th straight undefeated at home, 75-63. Don't go anywhere because we have men's basketball coming up. Rowan versus William Paterson. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening.